My personal experience that I'm going to talk about is when I was a bit younger, I took a trip with my grandparents to Texas. The reason we went is my cousin lives down in Texas and doesn't get to come up here very often, so we took a trip down there to see him. And it was about a 12-hour drive down there, and typically when I'm in a vehicle, if I'm not the one driving, I always have something to do. And I had a lot of things that I could do while I was on the ride down there, but I actually never ended up doing anything, which really surprised me. I just basically sat there and looked out the window the whole time. I don't quite know how I managed to do that. But once we got down there, we did stop overnight on the way down because it's a really long drive. On the way back up we didn't, but on the way down we did stop. But since we stopped overnight, the next day when we actually got down into Texas to where we were meeting my cousin and his mother, we had to wait a little while. It was really hot, so that was really annoying. But while we were down there with my cousin, we stayed in a pretty nice hotel, and it was pretty nice. But Texas was pretty interesting. It definitely isn't like up here. The trees are a lot stubbier, shorter. Just it's not as green, which I actually like the green up here, so I didn't really like that. We went to Six Flags, though I have never been someone who rides roller coasters. I don't like them. The way I describe it is I don't like the feeling I get in my stomach when I am going downhill on a roller coaster. It's the adrenaline rush, I suppose. I don't know. It makes my stomach drop, and I just can't do it. So I've never been one to ride roller coasters, and Six Flags obviously has a lot of roller coasters and things that do that, rides that do that. So I really I have to avoid those. So Six Flags wasn't a huge deal for me. Six Flags was still fun, though, because they have some really wicked roller coasters that I got to see my cousin and grandpa and grandma or whoever decided to go on that time go on. So it was still quite the experience to go to Six Flags. I'd never been to a Six Flags before, or an amusement park of that size, really. The only one I'd ever been to before was Adventureland. But also while we were down there, when we were staying in the hotel that we stayed in, we were staying in a room at the end of the hall, and the lobby had a vending machine. So I told my grandma that I was going to leave the room and go out to the vending machine, which is what I planned on doing. I was going to go get a water, which was free from the vending machine. So I left the room, and I went down, and I kind of got sidetracked, and it caused my grandma to freak out because she couldn't find me when she finally came looking for me. And this was all on me. This was entirely my fault, and I feel horrible for it. But it caused her to absolutely freak out, and everyone was looking for me. And when I finally saw my uncle, he walked past where I was and said my grandma was looking for me. And at that, my heart dropped, because I knew, oh no, she's going to be extremely scared because she was looking for me and couldn't find me. So I went out front where she was, and it was an absolutely horrible experience. I still feel bad for it years later. And yeah, it was horrible. But that was probably one of the worst. It was one of the worst feelings I've ever had in my life. But how long were we? We were down there about 5 days, maybe. So we got to see a lot of the cool things that there are to do down in Texas, along with Six Flags. Of course, we did all the typical things you do on a vacation. Like, we went and sampled the restaurants that were there. Food was it was normal, but we had a lot of barbecue while we were down there, which I do like barbecue, so that was okay. But Texas really was quite the experience, and I would love to go again, but we don't get to go down there very often because of how long of a trip it is and how busy I am. So yeah, it was really a wonderful time, and I'd love to go again. So